This is the inside of the Compass Casita 454. If I firstly move to the main control panel, you will see that we have buttons along the top here, this one being for the awning light, this one being for the entrance lights, and then this one being the main 12 volt on and off button. On the screen here we have a picture of a 2-pin plug, and you'll see the picture of the battery is green, indicating that we're currently hooked up to the main supply and that it's on charge, and it's given us a voltage reading in the middle. We then have heating and hot water just here, and water pump on and off just here, and then timer just here. So if I now turn the water pump on, because we need this on to be able to get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. Next, if I want to turn the heating on, we just press here, and you see that we have mains electricity using 3.3 amps, 6.5 amps or 13 amps, so just dependent on the amperage of the site that you're on. If we don't have main supply, we can run on gas. On a warm day, we can just turn the circulation fan on just to circulate some air around the caravan, and then you'll also see that we've got off. So let's say we want to run the heating on mains electricity at 6.5 amps. We then come across to here, and we then select the temperature that we would like it to be inside the caravan. If I now just press down here, we'll go back, and you'll see that we are now using 6.5 amps. We can set a night mode, so if you need the heating on whilst you're in bed asleep, you can pop it onto this little picture of the moon and it will keep it at a steady 14 degrees in here. We also have a frost protection mode, so if it drops below 8 degrees in the caravan, the heating will come on and then just maintain 8 degrees to avoid any frost damage. We can also, if we want to, run it in dual fuel, so we can run it on a mixture of gas and mains electricity, or it's obviously just gas on its own if we don't have any main supply. If I now come back out, we can then go to hot water, and you can see that we can run it on 3.3 amps, or we can put it into eco mode. Again, we have frost protection mode, and this will find the power source that's best available for it. So because we're hooked up to the main supply at the moment, it will use mains. If I wasn't hooked up to the main supply, it would then just automatically go over to gas. We also have a boost for the boiler, so we can boost it at 6.5 amps for 15 minutes. We can alter the time in the settings, which I'll show you in a minute, or we can boost it on gas, or again we can use the dual fuel. If I now hold this button down, we'll go into the settings menu. Ignore the installer part because you can't actually really do anything in there because it is for the technicians. But you'll see that we have room timer, water timer, set the clock, and the options. So if I go to room timer, we can literally set what we would like for the first one. So let's say that we wanted to run the heating solely on gas, an hour across. We can then change the time. So at the moment it will come on at 8 o'clock and then go back off again at 9 o'clock, and then you just literally just set your temperature just there. Then you move to your next one, same again. Obviously if we were off grid, we can continue to run on gas, and then at 11 o'clock, and you get the idea, you can run up to 3 timers on this particular system. Next we have water timer, and exactly the same again. Set your clock, so as you can see, just plus minus. And then your options menu. So you have the brightness level just here. Whether or not you want key beeps on. You can have a flashing blue LED light on here. I always have it personally turned off. I do find it quite annoying. Main supply, so if you know how many amps the site is, you can literally just set it. It will then avoid you from tripping out. Water heat boost time, so as I said at the moment it's set at 15 minutes, but you can alter it. How quickly this screen goes off when you are not actually using it. And then we go back to the brightness again. If we now come down to the seating area just here, and we now just remove the cushions, and we now lift up, you'll see that we have the location of the control board for the Power Touch motor mover just here. We have the box for the alarm. We then have the top of the consumer unit just here, and if I now just flap down the front, you can then see the front of it just here. So we have trip switches along the top, so we've got the individual MCBs and they are all labelled up, letting us know what each one is for. We then have the main RCD and the test button just there, so if something's not working on main supply, just come to check to see whether or not you've tripped. We then have the 12 volt fuses all here, and again they're all labelled up, so if something's not working on 12 volt, just check to see whether or not you've blown a fuse. We have the intake for the heating system just here. We also have gas isolation tap for the heating and the hot water just there. They are in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you smell gas in the caravan, just go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. And we also have the location of the boiler in here as well. And the boiler drain tap is just here. So to drain the boiler down for either winterization or travel, firstly make sure the water pump is turned off, and then literally just twist this to this position here, and this will then drop all the water out of the boiler. You can leave it like that until you come to refill it again, and the way to refill it is make sure it's back how it is now, fill up the aqua roll, drop your submersible into it, and then turn the water pump on, and it will then begin to reprime the boiler back up. I always suggest, especially when draining down for winterization, that you also open up all the taps in the caravan as well, because this will help in releasing any airlocks in the system. So if you've done this, when it comes to repriming it, you will need to open your taps up. They'll cough, they'll splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely on hot and cold, then close back down again, and the system will then fully reprime itself. We have the location of the stereo and television aerial and solar panel regulator all in this overhead locker here. To turn the stereo on, just press the button that says SRC. Volume control just here. You have USB connectivity just here, and underneath that auxiliary as well. To search radio stations or change tracks just here. And then we also have the menu just here. Just press the volume button and then rotate to pick what system you need to go into. Back button just here, and to turn back off again, just hold the SRC button in. The solar panel regulator needs nothing doing to it. It will just maintain the leisure battery as it's required. We then have the television aerial just here to raise the mast, undo the collar, push up and then twist it into the position you require and then lock back into position. At the moment the aerial is sitting in the horizontal position. We can flip it to vertical just by turning the tail part just here. Do make sure that the aerial is down for travel. At the back here is the digital amplifier for it, on and off just on the side here, and then control the boost just here. Beneath the sink we then have the Dometic Fridge, on and off just here. At the moment we're running on main supply as we're hooked up. If we were not hooked up we can run on gas. These fridges will automatically ignite themselves. If it fails to ignite it will begin to beep and you will get a red flashing indicator just here. If you want to try and attempt to light it again, just literally press this button. And then lastly we have 12 volt maintain for when we're towing it. So if I push it at the moment it will beep at us because we currently are not connected up to a tow vehicle with the engine running. Temperature control just here. And then we have the removable freezer box just here. Pull out extra workspace just here, and we also have the cutlery drawer underneath it. Microwave just here. Do make sure that the contents are removed for travel. It will work when it's hooked up to the main supply. We have quick start just here, stop, power settings, defrost, all just on there. It's plugged in this overhead cupboard. Electric hot plate again will work on main supply, operates just here. And then we have the 3 gas burners. Push in, twist and push the igniter. Automatic gas cutout if the lid drops down. Beneath that we have the grill. And then we then have the oven. Beneath the oven you will find some gas isolation taps for the cooker and the fridge. Again, they can stay in the on position. We also have a plug plugged in underneath there as well, which is for the electric hot plate. We then have the washroom just here. So we have the basin and the shower, and then the toilet. To open to the cassette, slide the lever across, push to flush, level indicator just here, so this will illuminate when the cassette needs emptying, and then close back up again just here. We then have the fixed bed on gas struts, so it will hold its own weight. Underneath here is plenty of storage. The bed pulls out from the bottom to extend itself. And then we have wardrobes and storage above. TV plug-in points down here, and you will also find some in the front as well. PIR sensor for the alarm. Just press the button every now and then and it will flash, just indicating that it's working. Reason being is it's wireless, so it does need batteries replacing from time to time. Smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarms just here. Again, just press the buttons to check that they're operational from time to time. If the alarm was to go off and you cannot disarm it from the fob, you can come actually into the caravan itself, and you'll see you have these little keys that you literally just plug in, and that will then disarm the alarm.